Hi,
sorry,
Lily.
I just took a bite. Wait, sorry, I just took a bite of something. Hold on.
Keep it in, keep it.
Just like choked to death on this podcast.
Hi, Lily.
Hi, Anna. I was playing with a new animation software, but forgot to add any dialogue. It rendered me speechless. I just thought that one was quite clever. Anyway.
Nice. Sorry, I just don't want to start speaking when you're chewing because I
know,
don't want
sorry.
you to go like.
Yeah, no, okay. I'm done eating now.
Hi, I'm Anna.
And I'm Lily.
And this is LiliAnna's Preread Mediathek.
The podcast where we analyse and discuss audience preconceptions of media from a queer feminist lens. Yeah. But today, we're doing something slightly different. We've got a slightly more relaxed format. Instead of doing a full episode on one piece of media, today we thought we'd just do a top 5 format.
Because we always love to dive into a type of media. That means we do a lot of research. Yeah, and as it turns out, when you record for 5 hours, you also have to edit that.
Yeah.
And we're not attached to a big media company. We're not part of a podcast station. And so we don't have editors. Every dad joke has been selected by...
Yeah, specially selected.
By, well, mostly Lily. Also, the lovely in-between sounds tend to be your doing. The lovely sound effect.
Yeah, then Anna has to do, like, the monster. She usually does the monster first edits because I'm like, Anna, I'm busy. Could you do the first edit, please? And so, like, the next few ones will be me. Because it's just a lot. It's just a lot.
We do have a lot of fun. This sounds like we're not having fun with the other episodes.
Oh no, we hate this podcast. I don't know why we do it to ourselves. It's just like, yeah, just self-torture really.
But we wanted to do something a little bit more loose and fun, and hopefully you'll join us. And for this episode, we're gonna talk about our top 5 Bob's Burgers songs.
Yeah!
Yeah! Because, as you all know, the lovely show Bob's Burgers has a lot of musical elements to it, and they write a lot of songs for the episodes, and Lauren Bouchard, the creator, has talked about how he thinks that animation and music go together really well, and they should always go together really well, and we fall in love with a lot of the songs, and yesterday I tried to edit down for, I think in the beginning was 88 songs to my first top 12, and then further down.
Yeah, it's harder for you because you've seen all of the episodes several times, whereas I've not seen every episode of Bob's Burgers. For me, it was like a much more limited pool, and I still had some trouble being like, no, this one. And I kind of had like my criteria of, I was like, okay, I can't do more than, spoiler, I've got like 2 Boys for Now are in there, but I was like, I can't do too many Boys for Now songs because that would be, got to give the other ones a chance. I'll talk more about this in a bit, actually.
Actually, with like an assortment of sorts of all types of songs in the top 5. It was very hard.
Yeah.
Very hard.
No, it was really hard. It's really difficult, but a lot of fun researching for this one. I was just like making my little playlist of like best Bob's Burgers songs and just having a very fun time listening to all of them. And like going through and being like, which ones do I know, which ones do I not know?
The ones that stuck with me ended up in the top 20 or whatever, and then it got dicey.
Yeah, at one point, Annie, you were like, oh, can we actually do top 10? Like, because like, she was like, it's really hard. And I was like, I've got like a very solid top 7, but I'm not sure I could like do a full top 10. So like, no, I'm going to push you to like do the top 5. So thank you for doing that.
Lily, would you do me the honor of sharing with me the top 5 on your Bob's Burgers list?
Okay, so yeah, preamble. More preamble. But yeah, I didn't let myself do too many Boys for Now. I was like, cut it down. There are a couple on there, but like I was like, not all of them.
I'm proud of you. That's hard.
I want to give some like honourable mentions because I was like, the ones that are really, really short, I wasn't going to go for because I was like, I want to give credit to the longer ones because they sustain it for longer. I mean, all of them are like relatively short. But like I was like, I'll go for the longer ones. And I also didn't go for covers. So I want to like give an honourable mention to 99 Red Balloons because I thought that one, I do like that. I'm like, this is a great cover. But the original stuff, I'm like, I want to give the credit to the original stuff. I think that one's great. And then again, TINA, I was like, that one, I know, I love that one.
It's 35 seconds long.
It's 35 seconds long. And
but
I was
it's
like,
so good.
I was like, it was very difficult, very painful. The A is for asthma. It gets me every single time. So yeah, honourable mention to TINA. I'm not even sure I've seen that episode.
Yes!
But I listened to it quite a lot.
That was also gonna be one of my honourable mentions, so I'm so happy that we're talking about this, that I'm not just boring you with talking about this every single time I listen to that one. I'm just thinking, this is just so good.
It's just brilliant. It's just yeah, genius songwriting, and I love it.
That's also a cover, by the way, now thinking about it, technically.
Is it?
LOVE. That's a song. They did. Sorry. The first time I listened to it, they did it on Glee.
Oh.
It's like a
really?
Valentine's song. Like LOVE, and you sort of go through the letters.
But is it a cover, or is it just a parody?
A spoof?
Is it like, because there's also like the Regular Fries song, which is like Cruel to Be Kind, which I also really like that cover. That one's good. It's nicely done.
Cruel to Be Kind is a great song, but every time I listen to the Bob's Burgers one, I'm like, yes, because sweet potato fries do suck. Like
no, Anna,
that's
you're
the
wrong.
joke.
No, but it's not true though, because sweet potato fries are the superior fries.
No.
It's actually the other way around. Like everyone, like Bob is wrong in that scenario, and the world is telling him no, and they are correct. No, because they are just very good. They're just delicious. They're very nice. Anyway, yeah. And my final, actually no, I've got 2 more honorable mentions. It's just like, is this cheating? Maybe.
No, I also have no honorable mentions, so.
Yeah, I wanted to shout out Harry Truman's song because it's just very funny. I don't know why. Like, I listened to that one before I'd seen the episode, and I can't even remember the episode now. It's just very fun. What happens in that episode?
Was it the one we watched together? Most of these I was like, actually, I want us to cover that episode at some point, so I can't really get into like too much to what happens in the episode. But that episode, I think, is the one where they go to that mother seminar. I think it's about
the seminar one. Yeah.
I think she sings that song while she's braiding, when she braids the hair.
Yeah, and it's just so it's very random and it's great, and I love it. And then my final shout out is couldn't make it into the top 5, but this is Whisper in Your Eyes, because I'm like, it's just, again, we talked a lot about this in one of our previous Bob's Burgers episodes, but like lyrically extraordinary. The only reason it doesn't make the cut is because musically it's not quite as impressive as the others. It's, it's his freestyle poetry rather than like an actual like song. So, that's the only reason it doesn't make it into my top 5. But I wanted to, shout out Whisper in Your Eyes. 99
Luftballons is one of those songs in Germany that is so overplayed all the time. But because my parents just didn't play it, I genuinely just like the song. It wasn't overplayed in my life as a child ever. And so the first time I heard it, I was like, this is a fun song. And my mother was like, no.
Never. No.
Yeah, your honorable mentions were beautiful.
Thank you. I mean, I have technically now done a top 10, so here's my top 5. After saying, no, we're not going to do a top 10. I think that was literally 5 songs. Never mind.
I want to hear your secrets. I'm so interested in you.
Yes.
Of course, no surprises here. My number 5 is I Want to Hear Your Secrets by Boys for Now. Straight in there with a very solid 5. I do love that song. It's just very catchy. Again, the reason it beats out Whisper in Your Eyes is because it's just,
I'm just
great.
dancing.
It's just joyful. Yeah, Anna is dancing. I'm also dancing. I'm not listening to it right now, but I'm playing it in my head. I listen to all these songs unironically, but like this one is just a bop. It's very good. Also, it's like a very good, again, like we talked about in the other episode, very good parody of kind of teen girl cutesy sort of song about, this boy that's just very into you. It's like, it's really cute. It's like such a wholesome song, very joyful. In the outro, when they play it in the episode of Boys for Now, we just have Louise looking very, very joyful and slapping Boo Boo in the face. And when I showed this episode to my mum, we were like slightly, I know, she loved it, and she was like, we were both slightly tipsy and just sort of like dancing to it afterwards. She was like, oh, it's so good. This is so like true about like having a little, like a crush when you're a little girl. And I was like, this is so wholesome and just like really, it was very cute. So yeah,
good.
Many reasons why this song is in my top 5, other than just the fact that it's a very good song.
Yeah, I love this. Also, this is such a good pick, I think, because it shows the outros Louise dancing, and then her dad looks back, and then she stops because her dad is like watching her, and then she just keeps dancing, and it has to be really good for being an outro song that still sticks with you. That's not even the main song of the episode, and it's so good.
Yeah, so good. So good.
I'm so mad now that I didn't write down more of my honorable mentions. I shouldn't cheat myself. No, I must be strict, and I'm not going to mention them.
You actually followed the rules of this game. You actually followed the rules of the episode.
there's no way in hell I can pick this one because it's so short. But one of my honorable mentions has to be Buckle It Up because I love that so much.
I don't know Buckle It Up. Which one's that?
Buckle It Up is when they sit in the car and they just sing for a second. Buckle it up or you'll die.
Wait, I'm gonna...
Buckle it up, buckle it up, or you'll die.
That's the whole song, and it's on the first Bob's Burgers musical album. It just makes me so happy when your parents try to get you to do something, but it's just impossible if you tell a child, be responsible. This is safe for you. So to just make like a little song is really like fun.
Kind of like sister song to the Boo Boo getting into your booster seat.
Yeah!
Which is sort of a very different energy, but like, yeah.
I forgot about that one. That was not on any of the albums, but that's such a good song too.
Yeah. The B-side to Whisper in Your Eyes.
From
into your booster seat.
From your big boy
head
to your big boy feet. I love that one so much. It's so nice. That's so true. They are sort of the Belchers and Boo Boo learning to be safe.
Yeah, it's just like a very different vibe. Like, getting into your booster seat versus like, buckle it up or you'll die. Just...
Yeah. Actually, now gonna mention one of my honorable mentions is gonna be I'm Tall Enough, because that's also relating to the booster seat. There's a Boo Boo song called I'm Tall Enough because he talks about how he's tall enough to ride in the roller coaster. That's such a good song as well. I would say Amor por favor, mi llamo Tina is also one of my favorites.
Oh, that one's... I'd forgotten about that one. That one is really good.
That was a long time on my list. This is... you can't leave that in there. But it's Tina singing the couple of words she knows from Spanish class, and Louise translating in order to make sure that Mr. Front doesn't date her aunt. Yeah, it's just also so nice when Louise goes, love leads to destruction and sadness and divorce, and then she goes, sorry, Steve.
It's so nicely done. Like, that song is really well done. That might have been my top 5 if I'd remembered about it, but sadly. But luckily honourable mentions, so, I'm glad we have this segment of the show where we talk about the songs that we weren't allowed to mention.
Imagine having kids that are that creative about their... It's sort of like an anti-parent trap where, like, they're not trying to get anybody to get together, but no, get out. Like, I don't want you to date my guidance counselor. I don't want that man in my life. Yeah.
Without any further ado, we present to you the musical rom-com / action thriller, Work Hard or Die Trying, Girl.
Okay, so one of the reasons this was in my top 5 was because this has so many cast members in it. Like the Silverman, like Sarah Silverman, her real-life sister, who play the two twins, Andy and Ollie, playing the FBI agents. You have... It just encompasses so many things that I love about Bob's Burgers. There's the movie references to Die Hard and into Working Girl. The fact that this is a musical episode. Also just the fact that they called it Work Hard or Die Trying Girl. It's just so funny to me. I love that episode because Gene being musical, Louise scheming, Tina being forced to choose between her obsession with Jimmy Jr. Pesto and her love for her siblings, and also Linda being obsessed with her children just being stars, and Bob not really getting what's going on.
Yeah. And it's such like, I mean, I love it as well because it's like a musical episode, but it's such like kind of big theatre energy where it's like, the stakes are so high because people get very into their theatre, and I'm like, yes. And also I just love the fact they like came up with their own musicals. I'm like, I wish that was sort of something that like I'd done in school or like my friends. It's just such a nice, it's a nice
badass
thing. It's pretty badass. Yeah, it's a cool thing.
It combines plots of 2 famous 80s movies, and even if you vaguely are familiar with the storylines, even of one of these movies, it's still gonna make you laugh so hard. And there's so many rhymes, I feel like, in songwriting that you just expect at this point because you've heard so many songs throughout your life, and because it switches from so many different perspectives in songs. I think Bob's Burgers does this a lot. We just have so much more surprise in how the lyrics go, and
definitely
rhymes that are unexpected, like will you back off me, and then the other person comes in and is like, does anybody want coffee? And there's rapping in there for no reason all of a sudden, and you have Jimmy Jr. gets to like dance and keep just saying hip hop. He just keeps jumping around and just keeps saying hip hop. And yes, and then my closing statement would be that I also hope that there is a tower where there are shoulder pads and love.
Yeah.
Which is my favorite line from that song. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is my top 5 pick for Bob's Burgers songs.
Nice. Very solid opening. Solid beginning. Very nice.
Thank you.
In 4th place, we have...
That went well.
Can't believe this. I used to trust my family.
We're sorry,
Oh.
so sorry.
Wholeheartedly
Now
agree.
they're
Yes,
just a
yes,
sham
yes,
to
1,000
me.
times.
Did we mention that
It's a very good episode overall, of course. I really like this one, partly because it just gives me very, like, big music. Like, I'm a big musicals fan, and it's a very musical-y kind of song. Like, with the kind of, like, the beat, the like, strings that, like, dum, 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 like, can't do it. But you just heard the song, so you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I can't describe music. The kind of energy of that is really nice, this driving beat. And the, like, Louise's broke the heart of this little girl. I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh no. It's just... Oh, yeah, I don't know why it works so well for me, but I think it's because it just feels like, you know, when it's like you've written a song and it's like a musical song and you're like, this feels like a musical song and I love it. No amount of slaps will make this right. Yes. Just good. And the kind of, yeah, and them singing in the background.
You know it's serious for Louise when she says no amount of slaps will make this right.
Yeah. Like, this is not, you're like, oh no. Yeah. Is this the I Want song? This is the I Want song, right, of this episode?
Yes!
Like...
Oh my god, you're right.
Yeah. It must be, I think. Because it's like she wants... But I guess it's like the anti-I Want song, because she's like, I will not forgive you, maybe. Or she wants Coochie Kopi, but she can't have him.
Yeah.
So... Or is it because her family want her to be forgiven, but she will not forgive them?
She wants this to be rectified. She wanted Kuchikopi because he's her duty buddy. And
Yeah,
she's
her
sick.
duty
And
buddy.
she needs her duty buddy when she's sick in bed.
Yeah. And maybe, yeah, and her want is like, I do not want to forgive my family.
Yeah.
And so it's like it's kind of an anti, but then because she escapes into like, I mean, she goes into her like dreamscape where she's like with Coochie Kopi and like working through this thing. So it's kind of like, it is still, yeah, the I Want is like, I want Coochie Kopi. Or is it an anti-I Want song? I don't know. Is this episode that brilliant that they created like a subversion of the genre of musical theatre?
The I Want song would be more about either them singing about wanting to fix him, but that song doesn't exist. Or it would be, the I Want song would be I don't want to deal with my family anymore, but that's almost every song in that episode until the very end.
Okay. I think this is the I Want song. Unless it's not the setup song. There isn't really a setup song. It just goes straight into the I Want song. But
isn't it a setup song
that's
because
good.
it sets up the conflict?
Yeah, but then no, but it needs to set up like the like status quo
Okay,
first.
yeah.
I think the setup song is like, yeah, I think.
Look at the small French village.
Yeah. Oh, that's also like the I Want song.
I
though,
didn't mean
right?
Beauty and the Beast specifically, but like just describing
Okay.
like, look here, we're...
I mean, I presumed you meant Beauty and the Beast. I think we all presumed.
Yeah, I get what you mean, because that's the ultimate I Want song.
Like always.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I want to rewatch that. Film.
I just love
And-
this like,
yeah.
Shakespearean level of drama with, you know, as Shakespeare once wrote. No, but like the line, I used to trust my family, now they're just a sham to me, is just, that's just,
Yeah.
my brother went, took my wife and ran away with her or something like, that's that
Yeah.
level of just
It's like-
betrayal is just so deep and I love it.
know, the betrayal of a 9-year-old is, yeah, it cuts deep.
It really does.
And then another reason I like this song is that it has a reprise, and any song with a reprise is a good song
Nice.
to me.
Yes.
Sometimes the reprise is better. I think in this case I prefer the first bit, but all good. All the songs on this episode, very good, but not the forgiving type. My
Yeah.
number 4 of Bob's Burgers songs.
Also,
Yes.
quite often on best list, one of the best Bob's Burgers episodes of all time. And I think, is this the one where I tried to get you into Bob's Burgers? Was this the first one we watched together?
This might have been the first one. It was definitely one of the first ones, if not the first one.
Because I kept saying like the musical episodes that are like musicals,
Yes,
but
no.
like one episode, and they're so good, please. And this is how
Yeah,
I
I
like.
think this was the first one. I was just a bit confused because I didn't know who any of these characters were, and then there was
that's
like,
true, yeah.
yeah, and then it's like the Fever Dream episode. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. This is fun though. But yeah,
I didn't
no,
even
it
think about
definitely-
that.
I think it's difficult because
Yeah.
I think getting into any show you're a bit confused about who everyone is to start off with anyway.
Yeah.
When I was getting my mum into Bob's Burg, I kind of knew I had like a set list of ones. I was like, this is the progression that we're going to have. So I don't give you like the best ones first because you won't appreciate them at this point. Like we're going to watch like 5 episodes before I show you like Boys for Now.
Wow.
To kind of like get you into, well, I think it was maybe 3 or 4, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, I was like, I have a plan to get you into this show.
Now I'm curious, what was the first episode?
Oh, I'm not sure. I think it was still one of the good ones. It was one of the good ones. Not that they're not all amazing.
The first season is a very different tone. Every time I start over and start with the first season again, it feels very different to the rest of the show.
Yeah,
So I'm just
definitely.
curious.
I can't remember. I'll get back to you. I can't quite remember which one it was. I think it was another. It might have been either a Tina focused one or a Louise focused one. It might have been the one that we didn't do for our episode, the Silence of Louise. It might have been Silence of Louise. Might not have been. I can't quite remember.
Great pick. I can only
yeah.
support this. I love it so much. I just love the fact that they're so scared of their own daughter. You can even slap us. We know that that's a thing you do when you're really either in love or excited or just angry. And she's like, no amount of slaps will make this right. You just know shit's going down.
Yeah.
Like, she's really betrayed by this. Yeah. Also, just the message of that episode, I don't want to go too much into it because I'm like, we're covering that one.
We will cover that one, yeah.
Because it's so good.
Do you want to move us on to your number 4?
My number 4 would be...
Halloween has gotten so commercialized. So many commercials. Let's try to get back to what it's really about. What's it about, boo-boo? Love. Oh, that's right.
what it's about.
Halloween, yes.
When I see you, I fall apart.
Like a zombie.
I got to rescue out
To the prom.
I wish I could make you mine. When I open my mouth, I sound Frankenstein. Every night
So my number 4 pick is I Love You So Much, It's Scary. This is now season 6, episode 3. It's from the episode The Haunting, which I didn't get the first time out, which is a very good episode, even if you're like me, scared of any horror movies.
Is that the
Still
one?
very much recommend this.
Is that the one where they take Louise to a house and scare her?
Yes.
Yeah, that one's good.
Yeah.
I actually did find it a little bit scary. I may have had to Google the plot
Yes.
so that I knew what was coming. It's like nothing scary is going to happen, nothing like really truly scary is going to happen in a Bob's Burgers episode. But even so, I was like, let me just know what's coming, like in this 20-minute episode. Anyway, it was quite scary.
It's so good.
But it's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did tell you, I think at one point that I also want to, I just keep gonna say this, I want to cover this one too.
Yes.
Because it's actually really good. But also, I don't necessarily want to watch Halloween movies to get all the references in that episode.
We could have a guest who
I've seen The Shining.
And then we don't have to do any of that work ourselves, and we just say,
yes,
watch all these films that you
outsource the hard work.
Exactly. The hard work being the horror watching.
Outsource the work to someone who actually enjoys Halloween movies. Halloween was horror movies. I just wanted to pick a sample of the lyrics in this song that I love. So for one, we both have established our love for both Boo Boo and Boys for Now as a band because they're glorious. Max Greenfield is one of the, I think he does play Boo Boo.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Probably know him from New Girl. Mm-hmm. And I just love both the video for it and I love the song so much. It also makes fun, I think, a little bit of like the neoliberal type of criticism that they put in pop culture, because one of them goes, Halloween has gotten so commercialized, and then someone whispers, so many commercials.
Yeah.
I just love the fact that something being commercialized means that there's a lot of commercials.
Yeah. And then it's like, we got to get back to what Halloween is really about. Love. And
well, because we didn't have Halloween when I was a kid in Germany so much, and now it's just so normal to like celebrate Halloween. And by all means, go for it. But another lyric that I really love is, girl, it's freaky, my heart is weaky. And again, we have rapping and we have rap time. Someone just yells rap time. And also I love the lines, I don't want to run away, I want to go steady, which is just so nice. Because again, it's sort of this thing of like, what do you want a boy to say to you? Like, I don't want to run away, I want to go steady. That's so cute.
It's so cute. Which, because it's an NSYNC song, this one. Which one is it? Everybody or something, or Body Rock, or whatever it's called, or like... Because I've seen the music video that's it's everybody, and like, because I've seen the music video this one's like based off of, and so I was like, I get this reference, because they're like, also Halloween themed, right?
Isn't this more thriller based though? Like I think the song is very much like Everybody,
but there is like
they even reference that in the episode.
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh, they're like, Really? They reference Backstreet
They
Boys?
say it's a
Not
reverse
NSYNC, Backstreet
Thriller.
Boys. Oh yeah, that's true. But I think there is a definitely there is also like a Backstreet Boys, or is it is Backstreet Boys? Yeah, because it's episode music video where they are like Halloween animals or creatures or things. Because I remember seeing that at my friend's university pub. I think we queued it. I think it was like we had an app that we could like queue up a song on like the screens they had, just randomly, and we were like, we're gonna put a Backstreet Boys song on. Yeah, really cool. And then we played that one, and we found it very funny. But yeah, it's also Thriller. Yeah, definitely.
It's so funny because when you and I were talking about boy bands, I sent you a video of Us 5 because I was a little bit too young for NSYNC. But I think Us 5 also did a video where they did all of a sudden turn into zombies. It's just a copy of a copy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I love this episode so much because you hear it more if you watch the episode, but at a certain point Bob joins in and sings along with them, and that gets really into it, and I just love that so much because they start dancing, and then Gene does this body wave where his like arms are in the air, and it's so cute. But in the beginning he just goes, "Sing it," to Bob. I think Linda's just standing there with a wine glass in her hand and just singing along, but at a certain point Bob gets really into it and just sings into the up out towards the ceiling, and it's just so nice for him to just join in with the kids. And that bit is in the song, but you just hear it more, like the context of it when you watch it on YouTube. But I just love that so much. I just think it's so cute. Yeah. He just goes like, freaky! I just love it so much. But that was my top 4 pick. Yeah.
Very nice. I very much appreciate that one. We've got even more Boys for Now in here, which is fantastic. I love it.
Would you like to tell me your top 3?
Yes, my number 3, Bob's Burgers song. All right, here we go. Yeah, you gotta, you know. The cave of love. Don't care about the world above. And here it's dark and cold.
Nugget of gold. Your heart is soft.
Will you be mine, coal mine?
Will you be mine,
diamond mine? Beautiful parody, and I love it so much. So yeah, of course, my number 3 was Coal Mine, from the episode Boys for Now.
Nice.
No surprises here. It just really holds up. It's just very, literally listening to this the first time, and when it got to like the coal mine reveal, and like that's the metaphor they're going with, I was on the floor. I was like, this is so fun. This is so good. This is so funny. It's just the most inappropriate metaphor. Again, the auto tune at the end.
Oh
it's
yeah.
It's just the best parody I think that has ever existed. Perhaps.
Yes.
It's just so good. I don't know. Yeah.
Oh,
and I do listen to that one unironically as well.
We have an entire podcast episode about that episode of Bob's Burgers because we loved it so much. And yeah. Also the boys just breaking through the wall into the girls' bedroom. That is such a good song.
And the step, their little dance.
Oh yeah.
Just like step and like slide and like clap and slide. Oh, that thing.
God, that's such a good song.
Yeah, I know, I love it. The only reason it wasn't higher was because, well, partly because I was like, I don't want to be that predictable, and partly because I've just like listened to it a little bit not too much, but like it's sort of very solid, and you know, it will remain within my top 5. Maybe it will fluctuate between like number 1 and like number 5 or whatever, probably for the rest of my life. But yeah, I've just listened to it so much that I'm like, I need to give other songs a bit of a chance now. But yeah, it's very good. I enjoy it a lot.
You felt like you were picking your favorite child. You were like, I shouldn't have a favorite.
Yeah.
I should delve out my love more evenly among my Bob's Burgers song children.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, they will resent me. They're probably resenting me anyway, but I was like, they can resent me slightly less.
I love the fact that you and I were both like, we shouldn't just pick Boys for Now songs all the time, and then we both just picked so many of them anyway.
They're the best ones. So good.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. Okay, so yeah, I haven't seen Turning Red yet, but I do know there is like a boy band within Turning Red that I'm excited to see what they do with that and like how good it is. I'm going to compare them to Boys for now and sort of see what the sort of like boy band parody is like, what their game's like. So yeah, I'm excited for that.
Can I just tell you that I actively picked, I talk a lot about movies in my Instagram stories, and when I posted about Turning Red, I actively didn't pick any pictures that had boy bands that visible necessarily in the images. So in case Lily watched my Instagram stories, just wouldn't have that reveal, because I was like, oh my god, I so badly want to talk to you about Turning Red and the boy band. Like, no, like, I cannot wait for you to see that movie. It's so amazing. Okay. I'm just gonna play. My top 3 is...
to our butts and toy gift certificate money. I woke up in the night cause I was on a mission to get downstairs and do some mermaid fixing. Our hair was a mess and I knew what to do, but then a rumble in my tummy said I needed to poo. I was feeling like...
So my top 3 is, I don't know what to call this. I'm gonna call it Was All Our Fault, in parentheses, I Set the Restaurant on Fire. Which is a song that is not on either album that's been actually there's also like a Valentine's EP's been released and Thanksgiving EP's been released, but it's not on any album so far, and that is the song of an episode where the restaurant is set on fire and no one's hurt, but I love this song so much because what you have is it has a 4-act structure. You have Jean, Louise, and Tina confessing each after another to having contributed to the mermaid statue going up in flames with a crimping iron, a wig, sparklers, and a fan. And in the end of the episode, that's the 4th act, is Hugo comes in with Ron, and Ron makes him and exposes that Hugo is actually at fault because he harassed Bob early in the episode and threw around rags that were like soaked in oil, and they can apparently combust on their own, which I also didn't know. If they're like oil-soaked rags can just go up in flames on their own. Or as Hugo aggressively mumbles under his breath, really? But apparently the reason anything went up in flames was because all of those things sort of coming together at once. And I love it because the lyrics are, I burned my dad's dream with my wiggy desires. Another lyric is Louise saying she wanted to help Mom's culture really stand out by making the mermaid explode, which is just as Louise as you can get. And also Louise singing, and maybe it's partially my fault too, but Sheen's skill definitely ranks higher. And then in the end, when I love the song so much because the way it's structured is you have these 3 segments in the episode where they sort of tell and talk about how they actually did it. And then in the end, all of them, the 3 of them, join together in singing It's All Hugo's Fault, because the chorus of the song, It's All My Fault, in the end, in the 4th one, they go, It's all Hugo's fault. And then Louise, under her breath, sings as well, and you just hear her go, It's nice to blame someone else. Yeah, I just love it so much because it's, again, very, like you said, it's very sort of musical theater structured.
Yeah.
In that it moves the plot forward. It's not just a song that exists, which I also learned at some point that there's a definition of it's not a musical if they just sing songs and nothing happens. The music has to move the plot forward.
Oh, that makes sense.
Which is why technically Pitch Perfect or something isn't a musical or something like that.
Technically speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I really like this one as well. I kind of overlooked it, but it's great. It's so good.
It's not on any album.
It's so good. And it also makes me think of that one episode of The Office where the like office sets on fire. They're like, oh, what happened? And then it's one of the people like left some toast in like the toaster or something. And then they sing like, Ryan started the fire. And it gives me that vibe, like, and it's very good. That's a good episode. But yeah, no, it gives me like a similar vibe, but it's really nice. It's good.
I also just love Jean, like, starting with this went to the toilet first and then crimped the wig and put it on the mermaid statue, and just Louise blaming everybody other than herself. But also she did confess that she did contribute it, so I'm sadly kind of proud of her for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mostly love it because it starts, like, you have these 3 individuals and it's already so funny. It's so funny. And then in the end you have the reveal that it's actually Hugo who's at fault. And also Ron, for once, telling Hugo what to do and not the other way around is really nice.
Yeah.
And all of them joining in together, and then again Louise going, it's nice to blame someone else. It's just so nice. But that is my top 3. But yeah, you can absolutely listen to it on YouTube, but it's not available.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, see that, like you said, like that's one of the reasons why it was not on even in my shout out list.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very good.
They've released 2 albums, and I think they each have like 70 songs, because they always take like 5 years or something to release just a huge chunk of music, which is super frustrating because the songs are so good.
Give us EPs.
Yes,
Like,
more EPs.
Yeah, more EPs, please.
Would you like to tell us your top 2?
Oh yes, I would. Right, just load it, queuing it up. Okay.
I already know what this is. Wedding is my war zone, and I'm the doctor in it.
I've got to save their special day.
Gotta cater to the limit.
Something so important. A burger's worth it.
Anyway,
Yeah.
it's good. And I also really like the bit where Linda comes in, but
Yeah.
I realise I can't just play the whole song. But yeah, my top 2, my second favourite of the Bob's Burger songs is This Wedding Is My War Zone. Again, you get that there's a big musical theatre vibe to this one. Actually, my parents, because it's from like a later season that I haven't seen the whole of. I've been watching more though. But like my parents basically watched it one night and were like, Lily, you should watch this one. It's got like a musical theatre-y song. I think you'll enjoy it. And I was like, okay. And I was like, yeah. And they were like, oh, do you know which musical we think it's from? And I was like, no, I don't think this is a direct parody. And they were like, oh, I'm pretty sure it's like a Next to Normal like parody. And I was
Jesus.
like,
What?
maybe.
Next to Normal, so much more serious than this.
I know. And then I was like, wait, okay. Because I think... Honestly, my opinion is that it's sort of like more of a sort of general kind of like it's a musical theatre kind of song, which is like kind of similar vibes to a bunch of the songs in Next to Normal, but also to a bunch of other musicals as well. But I was like, okay, like which ones could it be? And so I've got, I think like I Am the One and You Don't Know are like kind of similar in some ways. There's like a similar... This is going to make no sense to anyone who doesn't know the musical Next to Normal, but like it's got like a similar kind of like overlap of voices, like when someone else comes in and they're kind of like going up on like the kind of keywords. I don't know how to describe music, but also like a little bit Perfect for You as well, with the kind of like piano flourishes, and like some of the lyrics are similar. This will mean nothing to like most people, but I really like this song. It's great. That's the main takeaway. I really like it. I like the piano in it. I like the ukulele. I like the way the voices overlap. I think it's really good. It's a good song.
It's so funny because we talked about this in our last episode, but I was watching Jenny Nicholson's video essay on The Boy Who Fakes Dear Evan Hansen. She made like a reference and she was like, is this like a bad Next to Normal spoof or whatever? Because of Lily.
Wait, did she say that?
Yes, and it was like, because of Lily, like I actually know what that's referencing and actually listened to the whole album. I was so proud of myself. I was like, I'm educated, I'm learned about this. So I get what you mean. I do know the songs.
About this random 2009 Broadway musical that I was absolutely obsessed with in like 2015, 2016. Like this musical was my life for some reason. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm not sure. Sorry, parents. I don't think it's like a direct parody of any of the songs from Next to Normal. This one. But I really appreciate that was your first thought and that you thought of me. If you're listening, my parents, which you probably are, you're like one of our key listeners, I think. The reason that we have like an established audience of about, what is it now? Is it like 8 people that we have established audience? More? One
of them's Loretta. 2 of them are probably like really avid Black Sails fans, and we're very appreciative, and we are going to do another Black Sails episode because we wanted to cover that whole show. Yeah, but I love that song, This Wedding Is My War Zone, because I feel like if I would have read the plot of this episode, I wouldn't have been that into it, but the episode is still written so well and so funny. The combination of just Linda being against this wedding, and you have the combination of just Bob all of a sudden being, this is my whole entire reason for existence, and just singing about the importance of his work. It's just such a nice song.
Yeah. I just really like the way it builds. I think that's another reason I like musical theatre songs, is because they like build, and it's sort of like, and then it key changes or like something shifts in it. It's just like when Linda comes in, and then you can like get a bit more, which is again another reason why I like this one, like why it kind of wins out compared to some of the shorter ones, because it kind of is given enough space to like kind of build. It's still like a very short song, but it manages to pack quite a lot in there that I really, really like. Yeah.
It's just usually when you go up at the end of the song, it's not you saying like, I don't know, do I make this burger? I do. Oh my god, I just realized that's also like a reference to the wedding bit.
Yeah. Sorry.
just realizing things on the spot, even though I've listened to that song Lord knows how many times. I'm gonna now reveal that my top 2 pick, because that was your top 2 pick, right?
Mhm.
I'm really surprised that was like in your top 3 almost. Like that was a song that I deleted much earlier, and I don't know why, but it just didn't strike me as much. So I'm very impressed. You've sort of instilled new love for the song for me. I'm gonna reveal that my top 2 is one we've already mentioned, which is Not the Forgiving Type by Louise Belcher.
Yes.
Yeah, already played it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Yeah,
that one.
I love it so much. That was my top 2 pick because I love that episode so much. It's from Fluise. I don't know how to say that. Which is the first episode from season 7. And it's just, I mean, we already talked about it. I love that episode. And I tried to see, one of the problems I had was I cannot pick too many songs that are from Boys for Now, and I cannot pick 2 songs from that episode because I have to like pick one of the songs from that episode. Was sort of, I don't know why I told that to myself. I was like, because it's such a good musical episode.
You gotta set some rules. You know, it's like some restriction on creativity is important for creativity. That's not quite how the saying goes, but like, you know what I mean.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, we already talked about it, and I do listen to that song quite a lot. And before the second album was released, I cut that song for myself so I could just have it on my phone and all the songs from the episode. And it's just so nice.
Oh yeah. You sent it to me as well.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So I was like, Anna, can I?
Yeah. I sent you one of the songs that they did in an episode that's also quite new. That's also a Boys for Now song, actually. Someday We'll Spoon. And that might also be one of my honorable picks, because that's also not on any album yet, but that's a great song. Yeah. And now we're waiting, drum roll, for your top 1 pick. What is the ultimate favorite ever?
Wow. Okay, wait.
Bob's Burgers song that you have listened to so far?
Okay, here we go.
Potatoes and sweet beans and green beans. It's a dream come true. Wanna take a stupid wreck and ring it. That's what I wanna do too. But with him.
The only thing greener than these plants is my thumb.
How did we ever get stuck with these bums? The restaurant's now a crappy place.
Oh my god. Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, I could play the whole thing. I love that one. I love it so much. I think this is the first Bob's Burgers episode as well that I really fell in love with. I remember very vividly watching it with you, Anna, in the kitchen in Berlin. It's just very joyful. And then us being like, it was either the same day or like a bit later, like, oh, do you want to just like listen to the song again? We were like, yeah. We both been like, yeah, we just want to listen to this song, and we're just having such a nice time. It's just the best. It's very joyful. I think also like I guess it's not really a musical theatre song, but like also you get a lot of very strong emotion, and it engages really well with the characters. Because you've got like Bob and like how just like happy he is in his garden, and then like the kind of like counterpoint of like Louise and Linda and like how much is going wrong, and it's like such a short song, but packs a lot of emotion in there, and also I think kind of like builds on their characters as well. Like you kind of get to see like a side of Bob that's like very like just like really into his gardening and just very happy, but also kind of getting that internal life of like Louise and Linda as well. So there's just a lot of reasons why I really like this song. Also, just the kind of like of how happy he is, like being like a British lady in his garden, and the kind of plant voices that chime in as well makes me very happy. So yeah.
Again, an episode we have to cover at some point because it's got Bob shaking his ass, which is just, what more do you want? I love it also because again it does sort of that thing of which I mentioned before, with the rhyme is surprising because you have the cut between the characters, like the fact that he goes, the only thing greener than these plants is my thumb, and then they go, how did we ever get stuck with these bums? And it's just also like Louise and Linda don't necessarily always get along so well because they have such different personalities, and I just love the fact that they're sort of united in the hatred of this family. And they all both want to just cause violence.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. And And I think it's also that musical theatre thing where it's like you sing when you can't just like talk anymore.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, it's that kind of like that amount of emotion is happening at this point, because it kind of becomes a bit out of nowhere, because you're like, because this isn't a musical episode, it's just like a normal episode, but it just fits so well and it just feels so good, and so like it just adds so much to the episode. It just makes it really good.
They don't do a lot of non-diegetic stuff on Bob's Burgers, and in this episode the plants start dancing. So what is it when you can't contain your emotions anymore? You start singing, and when that's not enough, you start dancing. The fact that Bob starts dancing to the camera during the song and just does like, I don't even know what this is called. It's not jazz hands, but just moves hands from side to side.
Like you're a windscreen wiper kind of thing. Yeah. It's just so cute.
It's so cute when Bob gets really into something and he just so badly wants a garden.
Yeah.
So sweet.
Is this a commentary on urban planning and inner city life and the lack of availability of green space, and how it's sort of like gentrified because Bob's kept out of the community garden by like, the kind of upper middle class, I can't remember what her name is, that woman.
Logan's mom.
Yeah, Logan's mom. And yeah, we need to do an episode on this one.
Yeah, it's a really good episode. I think you said the only person who has availability to this basic thing of growing your own food is a certain, segment of... See, we're analyzing again. Jesus Christ.
How dare we?
That is such a good song. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't remember now while we were recording, but during going through the list of mine, I was like, you're gonna pick this at some point. I don't need to add that one because we're gonna talk about it either way. Because I know you love that song so much, and I do too, but I was like, you're gonna pick that one. And then I was really scared yesterday laying in bed. I was like, what if she doesn't pick it though? And then we're not gonna talk about Happy Crappy Place. Yeah, that's a really good episode, and that's a really good song.
All right, now you're number one.
Gretchen's here, Bob. She's gonna get your camera ready. Kids, go wait on the other customers.
Everything's gonna be okay.
I like this one.
Everything's
You know that
gonna
this-
be okay. Bad stuff happens in the bathroom. I'm just glad that it happens in a vacuum.
Do you not know this one?
See me with my pants down.
No, I've seen the like title and then it's got a little star next to it, so I'm like, people like this one.
Out of here in no time. I'll be doing interviews and feeling just
Wait, I do want to get to like the bit where Louis starts, singing.
I'm very happy to listen to the whole song.
Let's be clear. I did
Absolutely nothing wrong.
I'm not to blame. It's not my fault. This is just to say, if she had pooped like every day, this would have all just blown away. But out of here in no time.
Okay, my top pick is Bad Stuff Happens in the Bathroom from
Ooh.
Glued Where's My Bob from season 6. The reason I picked it is because if I would have read the plot, I would have rolled my eyes. But they keep gluing things. The reason I'm explaining it is because apparently you haven't seen the episode. They keep gluing things, and then Bob gets this chance to be in Coaster magazine, and Louise goes like, oh, well, we haven't glued anything additionally since you told us to stop gluing things. So people pick up stuff, and then it's like, the thing is glued to me. And she glued she put glue on the toilet seat, and he also accidentally, because someone's in the employee bathroom, sits down in the customer's bathroom and then is stuck to the toilet seat. Because as Louise sings in the song, if Jean had pooped like every day, this would have all just gone away. Like because this was meant for Jean and not for Bob. And the reason I love this song so much is because so Bob is just talking about sort of, God, this sucks, and what do I do? And Louise just goes like, well, let's just be very clear. I did absolutely nothing wrong. I'm not to blame.
Yeah.
It's not my fault.
It's so nice. Like listening to it, I'm like, oh, like I love the kind of the musically how it sounds. It's like really, really good. Again, it's very
builds.
musical theatre, and it builds, and it's got like a lot of drama in that music. And again, I don't know how to talk about music to make sense of what I'm hearing, but I'm like, yes, like this sounds really, really good. It sounds kind of Sondheim-y almost. Like, like kind of like there's something intricate going on that I can't express, which is most of Sondheim. Yeah.
And I love the fact that it's like both of them singing against each other almost, because they first each of them sing and then they both sing at the same time, but they're talking about two different realities. Because it's Louise talking about how this like will be fine and she will fix it, And Bob is like, this will all be fine. This has to be fine because I need to be in this magazine. I'm going to finally be sort of the chef that I always wanted to be. But they both sort of then join together. They both sing, he'll be out of here in no time. And obviously Bob goes, I'll be out of here in no time. And then because Louise makes it her mission to like get her dad free from the toilet, at the end of the episode, actually all characters that have been in Bob's Burgers sing, and they all line up outside of the restaurant. The outro of that episode is all of them singing the song together. And I picked this one because it's sort of an example for me of the relationship between these characters, and I just love Louis so much in that episode. And I just also love the fact that Bob is so concerned with his image as being a chef and stuff, and because it's so musically and because it builds so much, and then they both like join together, it's very it's very obvious, but I just love Louise so much. And I also just love Bob being sort of very adamant about something. One of my, actually, another honorable mention that I had was Nothing Makes Me Happier, which is a song where Bob's stuck and they make him take a vacation because he's just burned out, and he just sings about how he just doesn't want to do anything other than work. And then the end of the song, he goes, nothing makes me happier than them. Because he sort of gets to go back, because they lock him out of the restaurant and like make him go away so he doesn't work. And as it turns out, what he misses the most isn't necessarily work, but work and his family, just being together with his family. And that was one of my honorable picks. If I would have remembered to write them down. But I just love Bad Stuff Happens in the Bathroom because it feels like such an part of like a musical. And it's also this thing that like the Disney animators have talked about, where you start the music before they start singing. Like you have the start of like the piano going da 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 da, and then just him starting to sing, Bob starting to sing. Like you need to like you cannot like start the music at like the time they start singing, unless you do like they watching like a Boys for Now video. But you have to like start the music. You have to start the instrumental before you go into them actually singing. And yes, I love this song so much, and I listen to it so often, and I think it turns out it's I think my most listened to Bob's Burgers song, so that's why I picked it, because I clearly love it the most. But I love it so much, and that is my top one pick for Bob's Burgers. Bad Stuff That Happens in the Bathroom.
Fantastic. Thank you for introducing me to that one, because I did see that one when I was looking through, and I was like, I don't know, like that's an interesting title, and that was as far as it went. I'm sure I would have watched that episode at some point, but now I'm gonna put that one up there as like maybe the next one I watch.
I think the band The National also covered this song.
Who did? Wait.
The National, like St. Vincent covered a song from Bob's Burgers, and The National covered Bad Stuff Happens in the Bathroom. There's a National cover.
That's so good. I love that so much.
Yeah.
I don't know who The National is, but I appreciate that.
Wow.
They exist. Is that... what does that mean?
I was just hearing myself say that, and I was like, don't be condescending. People just know the bands that they know, and if they don't, I guarantee you've heard a song that was written by a couple of the members, because they write for Taylor Swift and stuff as well. They write songs with a lot of different bands. You've definitely heard a National song or a song written by someone from The National. Definitely at some point in your life.
Okay, I'm looking up The National now.
I would say that Trouble Will Find Me is a very good album.
I see. I've seen that cover like literally the other day when I was on Apple Music. Thank you for giving me a recommendation even before we get to our recommendations part. Fantastic.
So we hope you check out all of these songs, and we hope that you fall even more in love. And tell us, please, your favorite Bob's Burgers songs.
Yeah, let us know.
I'm happy to always have a prompt and a push to listen to them more and again.
Yeah, which ones did we miss? Which ones should have been up there? Let us know. Did we make the wrong choice? No, we did not, but still, let us know. If you want to let us know, you can find us at LiliAnnaPod on Instagram, at LiliAnnaPod on Twitter, at LiliAnnaPod on Tumblr, or is it LiliAnna's Preread Mediathek on Tumblr?
It's LiliAnna's Preread Mediathek on Tumblr, and it's LiliAnna's Preread Mediathek at hotmail.com if you want to write us an email. Yes. And if you want to be in an episode, if you're like an expert on any kind of genre,
horror. If you're a horror fan,
yes, please.
Come be on it. If a horror and a Bob's Burgers fan, you know who to contact. That's us.
Do you have a recommendation?
Do I have a recommendation? Yes, I do. Hold on, I need to look up how to pronounce this author's name, so I'm just going to quickly look that up. Sorry, do you want to go first as I do this. Sorry, I meant to do this before.
I'm gonna recommend Turning Red, because that was such a beautiful movie, and I watched it because I saw criticism of it as someone who has a uterus. Sorry, TMI. I really loved this movie, and it spoke to me on like 1,000 different levels. And sorry, I don't know why I'm naming organs, because Lily hasn't seen this movie. If you've seen Turning Red, you know. I
have heard things, so I've heard
okay.
good things. I've heard very good things, and I'm very excited to watch this movie.
The way that this movie just portrays different things just feels so beautiful to me, and I related it to it. It's just so weird because this movie right now is a little bit famous for the racist criticism of it, of being sort of quote-unquote unrelatable. And apparently if movies aren't about white boys living in New York or LA, they don't count or some shit. And because it's about a Chinese Canadian girl living in Toronto. And I felt this movie so deeply, and it was so relatable to me and on like so many levels, and it was so beautiful, and I just wanted to watch it again immediately, and I just wanted so badly to talk to Lily about it, and also in a reference to boy bands and everything, but just in general, it was so beautiful, and it just went into so many different things about being obsessed and having hormones and being into someone, and it's just so beautiful. And I hope more people just give it a chance and don't let any sort of criticism of it turn you from enjoying it, or experience it for yourself. And yeah, it's so beautiful. I really love it.
Thank you. I'm really excited to watch it. I think I'm either going to watch it tonight if I have time. May not have time tonight. Probably tomorrow night, hopefully. But I'm definitely going to watch it really soon when I have a chance. Thank you.
Treat yourself.
Okay.
What is your recommendation for us?
So my recommendation is Cixin Liu's The Wandering Earth. Sorry, I might have slightly mispronounced that, but I'm pretty sure it's Cixin Liu. But The Wandering Earth, which is a short story that was then made into a film, I think in 2019. But it's a science fiction story. I think it's only like 20 pages long. It's really short, but it's really good. But it's about, so the kind of premise is that scientists have realized that the sun, basically, like, we're like, okay, yeah, the sun's going to explode at some point, and like, you know, that's going to wipe out the earth, like, but that's kind of like billions of years in the future. But they've realized that something's going to happen with the sun, so that it's going to happen in like the next like few thousand, and it's going to basically just like destroy the earth. And it's sort of like what kind of deciding what to do with that threat. And so what people decide to do is build these huge things called Earth engines, and like move the Earth into another solar system. And so instead of like building spaceships to leave, it's like we're going to like literally move the Earth across the universe. And it's really good, and it's really interesting.
I'm really intrigued how you do that in 20 pages.
it's yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a lot happens, but it's really, because I'm not usually a massive short story fan, but I also appreciate it, because I'm sort of I always cheat on these because I just sort of recommend things I've read in like my modules, because I'm like, I don't have time to do anything else on top of this, but I appreciated as well that it was like our final week at uni, and our tutor gave us a really short reading, and it was very nice. And it just meant that I could also just like grapple with it, I think, because like we had enough time in like a 1.5 hour seminar to kind of talk about it in quite a lot of depth. But yeah, that's kind of what I'd recommend, I think. And it's also, yeah, again, like something you can read quite quickly. And I actually like most of my readings I do like by audiobook, but I actually managed to like read this one just reading, which I just enjoyed doing because I don't often just like sit down and read something. So yeah, it was kind of really enjoyable for me, and I'd highly recommend it. Yeah, that's my recommendation.
I think short stories are also just ADHD very friendly, because you don't feel like it's kind of possible to sort of read it in one sitting and sort of get through it, because it usually so much happens, or it just grabs you somehow, the story, and then you stick with it, and then you've done the quote-unquote work, and then you think about it for such a long time if it's a good short story, right? So I now really want to read it. It's just another thing that I put on like my to be read list. I didn't get that it was a short story, and now I'm like,
yeah, because it's like when you buy the books, it's like a bunch of short stories, but you don't realize, and you're like, it's like that thick, and it's like, oh no, I'm never gonna finish this, and then you're like, it's a short story. It's like 3 chapters, like 3 very short chapters. Fantastic. But yeah.
Ooh, which sci-fi character will you find in a bakery?
Oh, I don't know. What sci-fi character will you find in the bakery?
The Predator.
Sorry. Nice.